Hey folks, welcome to the channel Thinking Theology. I'm Don, where I take a look at theological topics. That includes atheistic arguments, evolutionary, agnostic, anything sort of touching on the belief in God or the lack of a belief in God. I don't care what you believe. I honestly don't. I have my own beliefs. I have my own doubts and questions. We all have our own thresholds of proof. And for some, the biblical texts satisfy them that this is enough evidence to go on that there's God and judgment and Jesus and Moses and all that. And for others, that isn't enough. And I don't begrudge anybody. We've all got our own thresholds of proof. And for some folks, they're still searching. Others are absolutely sure, one side or the other. There is or there isn't a God. Either way, if you're a nice person, I'm cool with that. This is Sam Kinnison. Now, Sam Kinnison died some years ago, but he was a comedian. And he was known for his scream during his comedic routines. But he used to be a preacher.
You have a really good voice. I'm not joking.
Well,
where'd you learn?
I used to sing in church. Hard to believe as it is.
Yeah.
That was back there before the big satellite boom. My parents used to make me sing, but we were goofing around.
You learn in church?
Yeah. I used to be a preacher.
No, I'd heard that.
I know.
No.
What were you? What were you before that? President of your own country, Sam?
Yeah. What kind of preaching? Were you a fundamentalist Baptist, holy roller type of stuff, or what?
Yeah, Pentecostal. Yeah. I guess holy roller. We're like Baptists, except we could get out of our seats and roll around the floor. So I guess holy rollers are pretty close.
If you were doing some preaching, and this was your congregation,
yeah,
what would you?
Oh, it was very fiery. It was very, I don't know about you, but when I woke up this morning, somebody told me, you don't have to lose. You don't have to be defeated. You can change your life. That kind
That was spot on. That's like scary cheerleading, but it is true. That's what happens in some churches. But that's one of the beautiful things in one sense. I was a philosophy major, as well as a criminal justice major, but I was at Rutgers University, and I majored in philosophy. And it had and still has one of the top 2 or 3 philosophy departments in the world. So it wasn't lightweight stuff, but my philosophy of science professor, Tim Maudlin, now back then I believed in God, and right now I believe in a very different conception of God, but I'm not even sure about that. So I guess I could fall squarely on the agnostic line where my threshold of proof has not been met. But I remember talking with Tim Maudlin, my professor. He's at NYU now, but he was at Rutgers at the time. And I said, look, after his first lecture in philosophy of science, which was one of the most challenging courses I took. I mean, I had some very challenging professors, but they were very helpful also, and I loved the material. But after class one day, I said, look, Tim, you and I might butt heads a little bit because what's being presented here, Tim was not presenting things in any dogmatic, atheistic way at all. It was just the subject matter sort of seemed to be suggesting that, not about him, but just the subject. And I said, how do we handle this? This is what Tim said. I think that the case for evolutionary is just rock solid, and I'm convinced at that. But he said, Tim said this, that I believe that some of the deepest thoughts in philosophy come from religion. So if you can state your questions or doubts or add to the class conversation and just presenting your ideas, we can discuss them. And I said, wow, I mean, that's very open-minded and fair, because not all professors are fair. My philosophy professors very much were in that vein. They loved civil discourse. And I love civil discourse. So I've taken a cue from that same thing, that I don't care what people think or believe or where they come from, as long as they're pretty cool and kind of easy to talk with. Sam, some of the deepest material in comedy, in life, and just seeing the nuances of how life comes out will come from that depth of background that could come from religion. Not exclusively from religion. Depth comes from a lot of things, comes from poverty. Awareness, just, eagle-eye vision about how life is playing out for folks. But Sam was just a trip. And Johnny asked a really good question. I don't know if it was set up for Sam to get up and do this, but he got up and gave a little fiery speech that you might hear in a Baptist or Holy Rolling Church. So that's just a little bit of background on Sam. And leave your comments, guys, and subscribe if you would, because I want to help move this channel along. We're closing in on 1,000 subs, and then I want to boom it on beyond that. And maybe get civil discourse on theological topics going. So there it is. Have a great day, folks. Thanks for playing along. I'll see you on another video. Keep thinking theology.